It's Monday night at 9 p.m. and time for Sex Talk with the Siegel Brothers. They will also welcome guests from around the globe to talk about a wide variety of topics and issues within the fascinating world of sexuality. Thank you for joining us and welcome to Sex Talk.
Good evening and welcome to Sex Talk with the Siegel Brothers. My name is Ricky Siegel and I'm a certified sex therapist.
And I'm Larry Siegel, a clinical sexologist and certified sexuality educator.
And all-around good egg.
Ah.
And my big bro.
And just a bit fried. And one of my absolute favorite roles.
My big bro?
Your big bro.
Aww. Go on. That's nice to hear. Thank you. Welcome. If you're listening to us on the radio in South Florida, we are on 95.3 FM and 1470 AM. If you're watching us, our live stream on Facebook, hello.
Hey.
And thank you for joining us.
Gregg's not on yet, is he?
No.
Oh, he is?
Oh. Can we bring him on? Terrific.
Oh, hey, wonderful.
Sorry. Oh, there he is.
Hey, Gregg. Didn't know
Dr.
you were there.
Pizzi. Good to see you, my friend.
You forgot about me.
No,
Yeah,
I didn't know you were there.
We were waiting for some cue that you were hooked up and ready to go.
It's good to see you.
Welcome.
When I called in, I was told that I was going to get a virtual red carpet rolled out, and I was expecting to see it just being rolled out for me. So I guess this is it.
Yeah, can't you see it?
How you guys doing?
The camera's too low.
I think
We
it's below.
tried.
Sorry.
We tried. But what can I say about this wonderful man? We're fellow alumni of the Florida Postgraduate Sex Therapy Training Institute, and Gregg's a brilliant psychologist. You still down in the Brickell area in downtown Miami?
Yeah, actually, I live in downtown Miami, but I've expanded my practice throughout the state of Florida through the use of telehealth.
Nice.
I now view my sex therapy and patients through the use of telecommunications, somewhat, similar to what we're doing right now.
Sure.
And
yeah.
It's quickly becoming the standard of practice and even covered by insurance now, as you know.
Indeed. And I want to talk about that later when we're talking about men, because I imagine it's a real advantage. The technology, sitting in front of a computer talking to someone, I would think is easier for a lot of men who are, like going to the dentist for a root canal to go to a therapist's office and have to talk about feelings or feel,
I think they prefer the root canal.
Feel confronted and
Right.
like Tammy Nelson once said, we expect too much of men in the therapy office to go in and be able to connect with their feelings and talk about them as easily as women.
Yeah.
Yeah, the telepsychology movement has not only amplified and use of the service and made it an increased convenience, but it's absolutely revolutionized the field in terms of the way things are done, the way communication is done, the way the patient and the sex therapist interchange information, the timing of it, because nowadays we use electronic, confidential HIPAA, HIPAA-controlled devices to share information, even in between sessions. Nowadays, patients don't even have to wait until the session time to spit out what they want to say. They just write it all down in the secure app that we use, and then when I log in, I get it.
That's cool.
So it's changing the whole field, and you're right. It is making it a lot more possible for people who wouldn't touch therapy with a 100-foot pole to really delve into their issues and open up.
Now, are these aren't like full sessions, are they? Are these sort of like 10-minute chunks and 15-minute chunks?
Well, there are some people that work that way, but I stick to the
50-minute hour
therapeutic model. I work with couples in either a 45-minute or a 90-minute, which is recommended session.
Excellent.
And whether it's in, and I don't have a virtual office. I don't have a brick and mortar office anymore.
Wow.
So now, from the first session to the last session, it's all online.
That's
wow.
That's amazing.
I'm really glad to hear that you do that, because I have been a little skeptical. Been seeing more and more ads on TV and all over the place, even online.
Yeah, these
that there are
national
all
companies.
Of these, these national companies. But there are all these apps which are basically like, I'm having a panic attack, and they'll I'll log in 2 minutes. They'll send me an inspirational quote, and basically try to maybe talk me down all of 2 minutes.
Yeah, and that really does a great job in terms of increasing credibility for our field,
Right.
doesn't it? It's like, if you have 2 minutes and can download an app, we can solve your life's problem.
That's right.
But there was one
Yeah.
that was on recently that I think the American Psychological Association sued them because it had a disclaimer, and I don't remember the one. It was one of the popular ones. It was, I don't know, something, one of these,
Yeah.
common ones that was on recently. And it said that it does not provide, in their legal, disclaimer, they say, we do not provide therapy. We provide therapeutic conversation.
Oh,
That
wow.
was the statement in their legal disclaimer, and the APA actually filed a suit against them.
Good.
Oh, so I can't start doing that on the bus.
Well, you can. APA doesn't have anything over you.
That's true.
Yeah.
Remember that we're not allowed to solicit directly
Yeah.
our clients in this field. They have to come to us first. But, I think it's really important as professionals that we maintain the integrity of the therapeutic process by keeping it as similar as possible, whether it's face-to-face, live, in person, or via some type of telecommunications, because we still have to do no harm to the patient.
Mm-hmm.
We still have to maintain the same confidentiality, and that's even more challenging when you do it over
Yeah, I mean,
electronic
can
lines.
you ever really know if there's someone else in the room off camera?
No, and that's why we need to really be careful about our informed consent.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We need to include in our informed consent now a whole new section that
I'm
says,
sure.
I do my best to keep our sessions confidential. However, in order for that to happen, you need to do your part, which is to ensure that there is no one in the room, that the door is closed, that you are not using someone else's Wi-Fi network in your house, and that it's your own router.
Nice.
Yeah.
That you are using a headset.
Uh-huh.
All these items have to be included, otherwise we are not doing our jobs as therapists to make sure that the patient gets confidential.
Wow. So, and you've obviously put in the thought that is necessary to kind of put that together, because I don't think most people would. Maybe most people would say, well, make sure that you're alone.
Yeah.
It's probably as far as most will go.
Well, we have the American Telemedicine Association nowadays. We have them to guide us through these rules. And I've been in sessions, it's happened from time to time, where I'll be in a session, and then the patient will stop talking to me, and I can see that they're responding to someone else in the room.
Yeah.
And I have to make a decision, do I keep talking or not?
Right.
Because I don't know who that person is.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to remind them that they have to ensure their own privacy as well.
So we were just talking earlier that, in the year since this Me Too movement started, we found ourselves just, the theme of the show emerged. We just are a couple of middle-aged dudes talking about men and men's role in sexual health and men's attitudes. And I know that
sexual
you
health
have
in
a
general.
lot of background and experience also on the forensic side of things and working with sex offenders who we know are proportionally mostly men. And just some general thoughts, just because we haven't talked in a couple years. What are you seeing clinically? What are your thoughts on today's men in couples, in sexuality, in therapy?
Great question, and I think it's a wonderful, wonderful thing for us to be discussing tonight. I was listening to you guys, of course, as I was waiting for that red carpet that never came to roll out. I was listening to you guys talking about the song. And I think that it's very, very tough for men nowadays. I think that, not that there isn't a lot of wrongdoing by men and women, but I think that men have a very, very hard time nowadays balancing being a man and being what society is expecting or calling upon them to be. Because one of the questions that I wanted to ask you as I was listening to you discussing the song, and I don't know I think it was was it Larry or you, Ricky, that said it's definitely predatory tone?
Larry
Yeah,
said that. Yeah.
I would like to challenge that and ask you where you see that, because I think it's human nature for the male to be somewhat of a seeker, of an aggressor, of the one that's got the energy and the testosterone to go looking for and start. If men didn't initiate sex, then when would the sex happen? Throughout history and culture, all cultures, almost all cultures, it's the male is the initiator. It's expected.
Right. I was just going to say that. Yeah.
Of the male to do.
In fact, in some cultures, it would be
song,
offended if a woman initiates.
This song, right, or the woman's offended if the man doesn't.
Yeah.
Right.
What happens when the man doesn't? It's worse.
Yeah.
So now, why isn't it okay for this man to be respectfully, in a verbal, back and forth communicative style, with absolutely no physical undertones of coercion? Why is this a problem?
No, and I have to. That's why I wanted to change the characterization to it's more predatory than rapey. Because I think it is that kind of dominance. That is, a guy takes, he goes for it.
Right.
I think that's what's really being reflected.
By predatory, perhaps you mean assertive?
Yeah, pushy. There was a really funny take on it that Jimmy Fallon did, where it turns around real well.
Yeah, I saw that. Well, actually, and the reason I think I do use the word predatory is because I think a lot of male sexual behavior really is, for a lot of the reasons that you mentioned, is inherently predatory. Most men look at sexual opportunities as just that. They're opportunities. They're conquests. There's something they can get. There's a transactional element to it. Now, I'm not using it with the amount of judgment that I think most people usually would use when they use that term. Right? But I do think it is that sort of assertive, aggressive, sexually dominant, wired to go after kind of behavior. Right? And my recharacterizing that was also about not wanting it to be a song that has to be banned.
Yeah.
Right. Because I haven't heard the song, I haven't listened to it again in full since this whole thing came out recently. So I may be missing parts of it.
Well, check it out and check out the Jimmy Fallon spoof on it.
Right.
It's really cute.
Actually, I think maybe a better word would be coercive.
Yeah, I think
that might be a
better word. Yeah, predatory sounds.
I would say persuasive.
Persuasive. Okay. Yeah, that's a good argument.
Coercive implies force. There was no force.
I don't know that it does though. I think coercion is persuasion after no.
Right.
That's how I look at it. Persuasion after no. It's persuasion until they say no, I don't really want to. But then once you start with come on, no, you got to do it. Now it's coercion. I think coercion can be forceful, but I don't think it has to be.
Yeah.
Did she say? Did she say at some point, absolutely no, I'm leaving. This is it. I'm done. Before anywhere in the song?
No, it's
because
just the constant litany of
I need
excuses.
to get going. It's late.
Right. Yeah. No. I gotta go. All right. One more drink. Stay. So
I viewed it as a playful flirtation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as I'm sure it was intended when it was written then,
right.
not for these, ready to be offended snowflakes.
And because
jumping up and down with like their hair's on fire.
And that's the thing. And unfortunately, because we run out of time, it goes so quickly. I think what you're saying right now, Greg, especially I think this is where that song should be. It should be. Let's talk about what does it mean to you. All right. If it bothers you, don't listen to it.
Mm.
Right? If I want to see it as a sort of flirtation, a fun kind of thing, why shouldn't I be able to? Right? So if it bothers you, don't listen to it. But you shouldn't have to let me.
Greg, before we're going to hear the music in a couple seconds, before we run out of time, let folks know how to get a hold of you.
Absolutely. drpizzi.com, drpizzi.com, and Facebook, of course.
Dr. Gregg Pizzi, thank you so
so
much
great
for
to see
joining
you.
us. It's really good to see you. We'll have to get
Great to
together
see you guys.
in the real world.
Yes, and we'll have to bring
Happy
you
New
back
Year.
on, talk
And
more about
best
this.
wishes to you and all of our listeners and viewers for a wonderful Christmas and happy, healthy, sexy New Year.
Yes, indeed.
And we'll be on the radio for the next couple of Mondays. We'll have a rerun next week and then a recorded show for New Year's Eve.
Yep.
And thanks you all for listening to
Yeah,
Sex
thank
Talk
you.
with the Siegel Brothers.
And thanks again, Greg. Good night.
You've been listening to Sex Talk with the Siegel Brothers. Join us every Monday night at 9 p.m. on WMN, 1470 AM and 95.3 FM. Or watch live streaming video at AMP2 TV Productions on Facebook, or look for the shows on YouTube. Thanks for tuning in, and we hope you'll join us again next week.